Welcome back to TLR episode 40, the big 40,
Ooh, let's go.
big 40. As always, your host, Joey Karni here, and the beautiful Issa, as always.
Hi, Joey. How are you? Long time no see.
I know. I don't, we were just talking off camera. I don't like this now. I don't like not seeing you in person.
We
Not a
need,
fan of it.
yeah, we need to plan our next trip.
Yeah. We should tell Jimmy, like, we need a studio. We need to just be there with each other all the time.
All the time, but in Puerto Rico, please.
Oh man, what's going on? How was your trip back?
It was good. I'm just tired. I haven't really rested. I think
Yeah.
there's no wrestling for me this weekend, so I might try to take a day or two for myself because I got back, picked up Roman. I streamed yesterday. Like I haven't really. I don't think I got a full night of sleep since we got to Detroit.
Yeah.
So I am running on coffee, basically.
How many times do we get coffee over there?
I don't know, but I was like, I've been telling everybody about that coffee shop.
It was so good. I
It
loved
was
it.
the coolest freaking coffee shop ever.
Yeah. And the last day that we were there, I went early in the morning by myself and I saw them like they pressed a button and the coffee shot up from one of the things and went through the ceiling, like through
That
the
was so
tubes.
cool.
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this is like some Elon Musk type stuff.
it was a fancy, and they did a good job. I like that coffee shop. You did a
Yeah.
good job finding the coffee shop. It was
I
your
was
job to find the
surprised.
coffee. It was my job to find the food. I think we managed.
Yeah. I was surprised. I enjoyed downtown Detroit for what it was,
Right,
right? Like it
for what it
wasn't.
was.
Yeah, it it was a little different than what we're both used to, but
Yeah, well, Joseph, in the chat, we literally were just discussing that. Me and Joey were kind of bitching because we had to be at the airport at like 5 a.m. So we went on no sleep. We didn't sleep.
yeah,
I didn't even get out of Fort Field until 2 a.m.
yeah,
So it was really funny that we were kind of like upset that we were gonna go on no sleep. But I'm really glad that we were able to catch the flights that left before the storms because a lot of
mm,
other people, especially fellow members of the media, got either stranded there for another day or they kept getting delays. We were already landed at our final destination, like when these people were like dealing with the storm. So I was really upset about the 7 a.m. flight until I saw what was happening. I was like, you know what? I'm glad I took the flight that I took. Otherwise, we might still
yeah.
be there.
You know, I, our guy Muscle Man Malcolm. Shout out to him for being a trooper because he just had some he
He
just had
went
some
through it.
bad luck that day.
He went through it. I know Nick was posting pictures from the airport too. Nick Houseman, like
Oh
I
man,
don't know. I was like, you
well,
know
he was at
what?
Margaritaville, so I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? I did. I pulled off. I was that person on the plane, which I never do. I don't even have like the like. I didn't have like the traveling pillow because
yeah,
I'm always on my phone. I always get the Wi-Fi. Like I'm always busy. I was so tired that I bought the pillow with the blanket for like $25 at one of the airports before the plane even took off. I had the sunglasses on, the pillow, and I was like under. I was one of those people on the plane under the blanket. I don't even remember the plane taking off. I woke up halfway through the flight, like, oh shit, I forgot I was here.
yeah. How long is your flight back to Puerto Rico from there?
4 hours.
Oi, it's like that's like me going me from here to California is like 5.
Yeah. It wasn't, but it wasn't, it didn't feel that bad, but I slept. Like the flight from Puerto Rico
Yeah,
to there, I was like busy. I got the Wi Fi, I was getting some work done. But the flight back, I was dead. I didn't sleep. I got back to the hotel with just enough time to take a shower, pack, and call the Uber and head back to the airport. So I was like, I was done. It was the first time that I was like, I'm buying one of those pillows and I'm buying a blanket and nobody talked to me.
yeah. When I got to my gate, I kind of just they were calling different things, and I went up and scanned my thing, and they're like, "Oh, this is not your section." And I was like, "Oh, my bad." I just wanted to get on the plane, and they're like, "Just go ahead." I was like, "Thank you." Like
Yeah,
I
they
looked
probably
like it
saw
was
you
a
on
rough morning.
zombie mode. They were like, what is he doing?
Yeah. It was a rough morning. It was definitely yeah.
It was
And then the
worth it though. We
Starbucks
had a
and
great time. We went to Mount Spaghetti. That was like the spaghetti that I have a vlog coming, so I don't want to share too much because
yeah,
I go subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna post the vlog this week. But for me, because we talk pop culture, the cool part about it was the trailer. It's upstairs and
yeah,
it's like a mini M&M museum. It's like the entrance looks like the trailer from 8 Mile. Like it was really cool to get to see that. Like I actually thank you for going with me. I told Joey, I was like, that's the first thing I want to do, and we stuck to that. We met there and we went there first.
Yeah, we both landed roughly within a couple hours of each other. We got situated at our hotel, and within like an hour or so, we were out there eating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a fun night. I'm glad that we landed a day before the normal stuff. It gave us time to just relax. I was talking about that Love and Tequila bar, which I
yeah,
didn't like the vibe or the drinks, but the
yeah,
aesthetic of the bar itself was beautiful.
yeah. That the what do we get? The pina
Pina
coladas.
coladas, but you know when you, I don't wanna, I do. I'm a pina colada snob. The pina colada was invented here. I
Yeah,
can take you to the place where it was created, and you can drink a real pina colada. So when you had that kind of pina colada, you have high standards. I'm the same way with my beaches. Like I grew up in
yeah,
paradise, so when you're gonna take me to a beach, it needs to be blue, clear waters and sands. Otherwise, I'm gonna talk crap. I felt that way about that pina colada. We should have known better and ordered something different because what? Why are we ordering a paradise Caribbean drink in Detroit? We should have just gotten something. That was on us.
that was the presentation was cool though. That
Yeah,
skull glass thing. It was
yeah.
just
Would have been better if we could have drank the whole thing, though.
I know. Well, we could have drank the whole thing. We just wouldn't remember drinking it.
The lemonade at the other place we went to after was good. Whatever
Yeah,
adult lemonade we had a good time. Detroit, yeah, like you said, for what it was, I
yeah,
did enjoy downtown Detroit. From the last time I was there, it seems to be progressing a lot.
yeah,
And there was just a lot to do, and it was fun. I mean, I don't feel. I feel like we were so busy with our own schedules and our own
yeah,
places that we needed to be that we really didn't get to. And that's what I always tell these people when you go on these trips. It's fun, we get to watch the show, but you are busy nonstop.
yeah,
So it's hard to explore. So I did like getting there a day early. I think I might start
yeah.
doing that for all of my trips.
I think I will too. And also Detroit was downtown Detroit at least. It was very convenient. Like everything was pretty nearby to each other.
Yeah,
So like even when we did walk, it wasn't more than a 15-minute walk to things.
right. Oh my God. I love that Joseph said that because the first thing I said to Joey was I forgot what 80-degree weather
Yes.
feels like without 100% humidity. It was nice. That's not how 80 degrees feel like here. And I was like, oh, so this is what a non-humid place is supposed to feel like, huh? Because here you don't ever feel just the nice of an 80-degree day. And I did
Yeah.
get to experience that. But it did get down to like 69, which in my book that's cold. There was a couple of
Yeah.
days that I was like, it's kind of cold.
Did you know that it rained one of the nights or two nights?
I don't know anymore. I
Yeah.
don't know anything that happened. Everything is like a big blur. I'll sort it out when I put my SD camera. As soon as we get done with this show today, I'm putting the card on my computer and I'm gonna sort through everything that we recorded and start trying to edit these vlogs because I have a lot of content to go through.
Joseph said, "Yeah, WWE keeps you busy." Yeah, I mean, we were pretty busy. We didn't know, so it was my first time going to a WWE. Like
He was with an expert though.
I was with an expert under her wing, and she guided the way perfectly. But we didn't know if we were going to be invited to all the events because every day there were one or two events, and
You had to wait for confirmation. So
yeah,
typically you kind of know what your schedule looks like. On this one, it was more of a hurry up and wait. So it was very hard to make plans when you don't know if WWE was going to email you and be like, oh yeah, you're approved to go to this event. So I didn't want to make plans with anyone because I was like, if I didn't want to ditch anyone. So,
yeah,
but yeah, usually you get the whole schedule, and this time it was more of a okay, you might attend this or you might not. Stay tuned, and it's just
yeah.
like kind of like a lot of sitting around and waiting.
And they sent us emails like a couple hours before, so
Mhm.
it was kind of just like a wait and see basis. But
And like a lot of times if you're like I have an amazing team, shout out to the Lucha Libre Online, I have a machine behind me, but I still have to send these interviews in order for the machine to edit and get them up. Like there's like you finish with these things and everybody's like, what are you doing after? I'm like, at work. What do you think? I just got 4 interviews, I need to send these like now.
yeah,
So it's like really funny because there's a lot of days that there was the second day I think where I made Joey go to Applebee's. We're in a brand new city, all these restaurants to eat, and
it
I'm
was
like, let's just
fun.
walk to Applebee's. But actually, Applebee's settled good, and we tried Detroit pizza, which
Yes,
I loved, but my stomach didn't agree with it. I loved the food. I ate the whole freaking
yeah,
thing. It was a little personal square pizza, Detroit style, whatever they called it.
yeah,
But the second day was where I think we finished eating at Applebee's, and I told Joey, I was like, I'm done. There's
yeah,
no like, what are we doing tonight? There's no let's make plans. I was like, I'm gonna call us an Uber. I'm gonna drop you off wherever you want, and I'm going right back to my bed. So, but
yeah,
yeah, it's a lot of work. It's very rewarding. I had a great time. I hope I'm very proud of you. I think you did an amazing job. Your Gunther TikTok, I showed it to everybody I know. Like I'm super proud of you, and it was so
Thank
much
you.
fun. And I'm glad that we still got to do our little TLR thing by going to Mom Spaghetti and doing the pop culture related thing. But yeah, super proud of you, Joey. I thought you did great.
Thank you so much. It was a fun experience. But honestly, it wouldn't have been what it was if I didn't have two things. If I didn't have you there with me, but if I didn't have you like giving me advice as to like how things go, because it was it was a thing, you know?
Yeah, we all have a first time, and it does help to know what to expect, how
Yeah.
it's gonna go. Like, and I had a few people that kind of helped me a little bit in my first time, so I didn't want you to have to go and not have somebody to kind of like tell you, kind of like
Yeah.
it's very different. A lot of these go the same, but there is like a certain
Yeah.
expectation and a certain thing. And I think everything went exactly the way that I thought you it would go, except for the media. They switched things around on us. I personally liked it more the way that they did it this time. I know that a lot of people didn't. So we'll see how it goes for the next one. But
Yeah.
overall, I really do think that having somebody there to kind of guide you does help, because they don't, they just
Yeah.
expect you to know the ropes.
You know what also helped a lot too is meeting all the people that like I've kind of engaged with on social media here and there, but like you never really met in person. And everyone was just so like cool and nice. And like that, I think to me, that was the best part. Like just meeting such cool people, you know?
Yeah. I told you that everybody is kind of nice, you know.
Yeah.
Um you have to be like, we're all in the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like the wrestling cake is big and we can all have a piece and there's still
Yeah.
some left. Like there's no need to be crazy competitive when,
Yeah.
we're all gonna get the same content, we're all gonna get the same interview, so we might as well enjoy. I really loved, and I don't know if you noticed this, I always loved sitting at the press box the day of the show, because everybody just feels so laid back. We're finally done with the activities, we're done
Yeah.
with the interviews. Like the only thing in the back, obviously there's a little bit of stress over the press conference. We had to do a stream on my channel to just talk a little bit more. There's a little bit of stress over who's gonna make the cut to go to the
Yeah.
press conference and who's not. But I feel like once we get to show night, right? My
Yeah.
conspiracy was right though. I'm good.
You were right.
I feel like once we get to the show night, everybody's just like, okay, we got our work done. We went to all the events,
Yeah.
interviews are sent in. Like, let's just sit down and watch the show and enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I always love getting to show day, because I feel like the vibe in the press box is so different. Everybody's just having fun and
Yeah.
enjoying the show.
It was. I agree with that. It was like the payoff of all the work that we did
Yeah.
throughout the week, and just now I get to sit back and enjoy the show. You're still working at the show, but you
Right.
know, it's fun work.
Yeah, and you still get to like, it's more of a laid back conversation, because you don't have to worry about like, oh, I want to talk to you and get to know you, but I gotta get on this line to get
Yeah.
this interview, so I can't talk to you for too long. Like there, you really have normal one-on-one conversations with people that you've been interacting with forever, that you just want to
Yeah.
like get to know. Because at the end of the day, and we'll get to pop culture in a second. At the end of the day, I did mention in one of my tweets, like there's so many new media faces, and it made me really happy to see so many people there. But at the same time, we're always kind of like the same group of people, so we might as well just all get along, all get to know each other, because once you decide, yeah, I'm gonna start going, you're gonna see the same faces there, so it's good to
Yeah.
make friends.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed, like you said, like, you know, having that payoff, being able to enjoy the show. But then like we're sitting side by side. I'm sitting next to you, and next to you is like Sean Ross Sapp, and then over there is like Chris Van Vliet, and like all these people, we're all just watching together, and like that in itself is like just so cool and enjoyable. I was blown away by the whole time. The whole thing was just was
Yeah,
great.
but I had to point out that I thought you did a great job.
Thank you. And like I said, if not for you, I would have been like a chicken with my head cut off, just running around not knowing what is going on.
Poor baby, I got you.
But thanks, mom. Thanks, mommy. But you know, this is
I'll be your Rhea, you'll be my Dominic.
let's do it. Totally dumb. But you know, this is a pop culture show, and so many things pop culture going on as always. Didn't really keep up with much, obviously, because we were away.
Yeah, but
But
there wasn't a lot of news. I woke up
no,
this morning and I tried to find some news, and I got up super early like I usually do. And then I realized I really didn't have to be anywhere for a while, so I went back to sleep. But in that period of time, I started looking and I couldn't find anything. And then I was like, you know what? Because I'm tired, maybe I'm not looking at this news like the right way because nothing interested me. So I went back to sleep, wake back up, go back to the normal sites I visit every Tuesday, and I still couldn't find. Like, there's a lot, but a lot of them I just felt like this is not worth talking about.
I get it. I
You
get
know?
it. Yeah. No, one of the topics that I did want to talk about, the Made in America Festival. I don't know if everyone in the chat is familiar with the Made in America Festival. It's in Philly. They do it usually every year, I believe.
Hmm.
And they canceled it this year.
Wonder
Um,
why, Joey.
I wonder why as well. Yes. Lizzo was set to headline this event. And the article says here, Philly won't be taking the main stage to Made in America this year. In fact, no one will. The festival has been canceled under severe circumstances. The star-studded lineup was set to include Metro Boomin, Ice Spice, Lotto, SZA, Lizzo, and obviously there's things going on with Lizzo that we spoke about before. So there were just a lot of things
You
going
don't think
on.
that it would have been easier to just cancel Lizzo?
You know, I originally thought about that, and when I read through the article, they didn't really give any reason or like anything to like about that.
Yeah, but we're not stupid. We know nobody
Yeah,
wants to deal with bringing her on right now.
yeah. It
But
says,
I just feel like there was a decent lineup. I'm sure they were selling tickets, so it just makes you wonder like, couldn't you just like make somebody else the headliner and just kind of go on without her?
well, yeah. I mean, they've done it at what Coachella's done that
Yeah.
a few times, you know. But it says here that due to severe circumstances outside of production control, you know, the Made in America Festival will no longer be taking place. This decision has been difficult and has not been made lightly nor without immense deliberation.
I wonder
Oh, a
if it
bunch of
wasn't
nonsense.
selling well, like Joseph just said in the chat. Maybe it wasn't selling well because to me, I feel like if it was a sold out that made them money and profit, they
Yeah,
would have figured out a different situation. Or you have money to bring in somebody last minute, right? Like somebody else. But at this point, I feel like if the PR was a mess and if you weren't selling tickets like you thought you were, then maybe it's just better to just cancel the whole thing.
yeah. I mean, I it's not a festival that I personally would have attended.
Right.
Um,
But there's too many music festivals nowadays too.
I think that's the big problem is like there's too
Hmm.
many music festivals, and a lot of them kind of just they all blend together to me. Like
Yeah, same.
outside of Coachella, they all blend.
Yeah. And Philly's not necessarily a destination. Like Coachella, everybody knows, and they make a whole vacation out of it
Yeah,
because it's like I
yeah,
don't know. There's just like something about like, am I gonna travel to Philly just to watch a music festival? No, I'm
yeah.
gonna have to do it for WrestleMania, and I'm already dreading it.
Yeah, we saw the commercial like 4 times last night during Monday Night Raw, and for Philly. I was
It's
like,
like,
oh man,
stop. Philly's not fun. You're gonna make us go. I hate cold destinations. Like it's gonna be cold.
yeah,
It's gonna listen. It's WrestleMania. That's our Super Bowl. But
yeah.
it's still like ugh, whatever.
We're gonna have cheesesteaks to stay warm.
Yeah,
At least I am.
Royal Rumble better be somewhere warm, or I'm gonna have a fit.
Yeah, yeah, it better be. But I didn't know this before, but this Made in America festival is actually Jay-Z's festival.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
knew that.
it's in the name. I should just know that, but
It's currently storming here again. It seems to be a Tuesday thing. It happened last week. Remember, I lost
yeah,
my power, but
yeah,
I am having so much fun watching Roman find new hiding spots right now, and he's trying to climb over a mess of things that I still have to go
oh,
through because I'm still unpacking, and it's
yeah.
just hilarious to watch him trying to hide behind it. Sorry, I just had to share.
No, you're fine. Roman, how was Roman like with you coming back home? Was he excited to
Oh
see you?
my god, he was and then he was so extra clingy. Like the
Yeah,
first day, he still is. Like this morning, he still is. He's been very extra clingy, but he was good. He was so happy when he saw me. He wasn't expecting me,
yeah,
and I know this might be a shocker to you because Joey can now attend to the fact that I do everything in high heels, including walking like 10 miles. But I didn't wear heels for my flight back
Oh
because
wow.
because I really was tired. I wanted to sleep
Yeah.
on the plane. I wanted to be comfortable. And so the whole point is that when I get to my mom's, Roman usually knows it's me because of the click of my shoes.
Yeah.
But because I didn't wear heels, he didn't hear me go up the stairs and
Oh,
like get to the
that's
door. So it was
extra
like
special.
I saw the like he like ran down when he heard the door, and I saw like the little shock look in his face. It was the cutest freaking thing ever. He looked at me like,
Yeah.
"Where's your heels, mom? You surprised me." It was cute.
I know the chat. The chat knows that Issa has like her fashion game is just immaculate, right? All the time, always on, hair done, nails done, everything. You know how it goes with Issa. Let me tell you. Let me talk to you. The whole trip, this woman was in heels,
Yeah.
not phased one bit. I mean, we walked. We walked.
The only
We
ones that
walked
kind
and
of got
talked.
to me a little bit were the ones that I wore for the junket.
Yeah.
Those were the ones that I told you. I was like, okay. It was so funny because I told Joey, I was like, okay, these shoes are bothering. They were red bottoms, which everybody knows are the most uncomfortable shoes that a girl can wear, but they're cute, right?
Yeah.
But I told Joey, I was like, okay, after this, I gotta go back to my hotel because we were doing some editing and something at Joey's hotel because it was
Yeah.
closer to everything. Mine was a little bit further out. The whole point is that I told Joey I gotta go get changed, and then when we met at the other event, Joey's like, "You changed from one heels to the other," and I'm like, "Yeah, I wasn't gonna change it to flats. I just needed more comfortable high heels." But yes, it was high heels the entire time, and we walked a lot.
We did. I
Yeah,
think one of the highlights for me right after the junket, because you and I were pretty much the last there was 2 or 3 people to leave the room from the junket because we were
yeah.
just
And I
taking
was
our
able to
time.
pass out in the middle of the room and take my shoes off.
And there was nobody left in the room. And Issa just took her heels off and just laid on the floor. And she was like,
Don't talk
finally.
to me. Bring me coffee.
It was
There's a
great.
picture of that. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
put it on the blog.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's gonna be like the expectation and reality, or like how it started, how it's going.
But you like, there's one thing of wearing heels, but like you like I'm a fast walker. And sometimes I don't even realize that I'm walking fast. You were like toe to toe with me the whole time. Like you were.
One of my very first media trips, I was like lashing on to Sean Ross Sapp because he was my friend and he knew what to
Yeah.
do. And that's the same thing he said to me. He's like, I can't believe you're keeping up with me in those shoes. Like, how are you doing that? And I'm like, I don't know. That's like I'm defaulted to walking heels. So, and I'm
Yeah.
lived 10 years in New York. If you don't walk fast, you get ran over. So, it's a good combination.
And shout out to Sean. I had never met Sean before. That was the first time meeting Sean.
Same. Kidding.
Yeah. Such a cool guy. We're watching. Honestly, it was so funny. When we're sitting in the press box, every time he walked by, he would like lean over to you and like tell you like a fun fact.
He doesn't leave me alone.
It was so funny. I'm like, fact check. Sean's here.
I love
man.
Sean. I've been friends with Sean Ross Sapp since like 2015. As a matter of fact, when me and him became friends, he was doing my job because he was working with Wrestling Inc., covering the
Wow.
shows that I now cover with Wrestling Inc. So
Yeah.
before Fightful, before the 200,000 followers, like before all of that, I've been friends with him. So you saw him. There's a couple of people that I consider to be close with because I've been friends with them for the longest time. Nick Houseman, I used to do a show with him on Wrestling Inc. Steve Fall is the one that even got me started into podcasting. So there's just a
Steve
couple of people
Fall.
that I always love seeing, and I look forward to like being reunited with some of them.
I think I want to do a podcast one day with Steve Fall because
Oh my god,
he's got such a personality. Like it's so like he's so charismatic. I love it.
Steve Fall is something else, man. I love him too.
You know what I love most though about the whole weekend?
What?
And then we can kind of go back to pop culture, even though this is kind of pop culture stuff. But like,
Yeah.
it's the first time we're talking really, so I have to kind of make it known. You are such like a genuine, caring, loving, all the good synonyms we could use. Or
Don't be
adjectives,
exposing me.
that you are one of the coolest people I think I've ever met. Right? I've told you this so many times, but to see the recognition you were getting throughout the entire trip, like near and far, people who I've looked up to are looking at you as someone they look up to, like just to see the level of love you were getting. One
Thank
name
you.
in particular, I'll say here, Dave LaGreca. I mean, giving you knowing who you are and just like knowing everything you're about and doing and just kind of giving you that praise. I was like, man, like I see
I,
you
I
as my
ugly I
friend.
ugly cried inside when David like Greka walks up to me and he goes, "Man, you're killing it," and I'm like, "Holy
Yeah,
shit!" I'm like, "Holy shit!" Holy like, do not freak out, do not fangirl, keep it cool. But inside, I'm like, "Oh my god!" Same with Chris Van Vliet. Like there was a lot of
yeah,
people there, and I posted about it. I was like, there's a lot of people whose content I consume and respect, and to see them walk up to me and just just say nice words, it
yeah.
really meant a lot.
It's just cool to see you get that like such right. I didn't like not a knock to anybody there, but I didn't see anybody else getting that type of treatment.
Yeah, I
Like you
felt
were,
it was a good trip for me. I felt very, a lot of times I'm like, I don't know how people see me because obviously I started with my reactions on YouTube and
yeah,
I still do my reactions on YouTube. I never want to steer away from how I started. Um, and I think maybe staying genuine is something that has helped me,
yeah,
but because of that, I always wonder like, do people take me seriously? And my interviewing style is a little bit different. Where I like it to be more casual, more like trying to find
yeah,
something personal. Like I like to bring something that people didn't know about them. I had
yeah,
the hardest time with Gunther, by the way. I was like, what the hell am I gonna ask him about that can crack him just a little bit? Because my God, he was on character. So I
yeah,
asked him about wedding planning, and I got him. I got him to talk a little bit, and he talked about how they had to hire a wedding planner and everything. But because my interviewing style is different, I always like
yeah.
to crackle them. I always like to get a laugh out of people
It's
and all that.
memorable.
Right,
You
and
leave an impression.
so I always fear that people just don't take me seriously in regards to like wrestling media and all that. So it really did mean a lot.
No, I was watching like you're going ahead of me in some of the interviews. I'm watching and I see like Bianca Belair like look at you like girl like what's going on? You're like her friend and just talking to you. And I see Chad Gable like looking at him like I remember you. Like don't even play that. I know who you are. Like
I know.
everybody knew who you were. They
But
showed you
that's
love.
for said, good to see you again. How's the family? And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
How do you know about the boat? How do you
Yeah.
know about the boat?
It's been incredible, and I was proud of me on this one. I'm not gonna lie. I had to like came back, pat
Yeah,
myself in the back a little bit. So
yeah. A Champa pat on the back. Like, a good
yep.
one. But like I was saying, it was just so cool to see you get all that recognition, and then also just turn around to me and be like such like you're so humble and you're so like level headed. Where like there's some people that would get to them and they'd be like, I'm a superstar, but you're just yourself, and I think that's
Yeah.
the coolest freaking thing out of the whole thing. Like it's pretty cool to see and to be
Thank
a part of
you.
it.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I told you I just like to remain who I was and never forget that still a fan. Like I hate when, oh my God, the Thunders.
I
I
heard
hate
that
like
one. I heard that one.
I just want to still like be a fan at heart and talk to these people like the fan that I am and try to
Yeah,
think like if I'm watching you on YouTube, what would I ask you about? Like silly stuff like Bianca her gear. That's something I had to ask her about because I love that
yeah,
she makes her own clothes and things like that. But yeah, I think it's really good that I still do my reactions and I haven't steered away from that because it
yeah.
helps you remember where you came from.
Yeah. But like we've been saying, we're gonna plan something where we both just talk about our stuff and our experiences
But you
because
know what? Like bringing it back to Made in America, I don't know how this was planned, but it was
yeah,
quite frustrating in Detroit because I don't know how event planners are looking at things. And I know it was an excellent weekend for Detroit economy overall. And I know we'll hear the numbers from WWE. But
yeah,
for people who doesn't know this, the hotels in downtown Detroit that weekend were going for like 600-700 per night because the Tigers were in town. You had SummerSlam in town. There was a Slipknot concert. There was something else. Like it was impossible to get an Uber. It was impossible to get a hotel nearby if you didn't book it ahead of time.
yeah,
It was a crazy weekend. We the first time we were there, we ran into a worker that was like, "There's gonna be like 200,000 people in downtown on Saturday. I'm not coming near here." Like it was
yeah,
crazy. And the Tigers game ended when SummerSlam started. So you had all these people trying to get out of Comerica, and you had all these people trying to get into Ford Field. They're right
yeah,
next to each other. I do like that. I think New
yeah.
Orleans, there's a couple of cities that have like all the sports complex like near each other.
Yeah. Well, they were
They,
like directly next door. Like
yeah,
I could throw a football from one to the other.
yeah, but it's like really funny that all of these things got booked on the same weekend because
Yeah,
if you go right now and you look, that nice hotel in Detroit is like 229 per night, and
yep,
that weekend was going for $600-700 per night. I was like, this cannot all be for SummerSlam. And then once we got there and learned, and
Yeah.
it just like, you're talking about a music festival. So I wonder how these things get booked. Do they look for busy weekends, or do they try to find a weekend that is not as busy? Because I just could not believe that there was that much going on the exact same day
Yeah.
there. And when you say something like Philly, made in America, I can see it not selling, because I don't remember myself ever saying, okay, I'm lying. I did say it once. I wanted a cheesesteak sandwich. I drove from Jersey to Philly just to eat the sandwich, okay? One time. But other than that, in the 10 plus years I lived in that area, I never said, oh, let me just drive to Philly, just because there had to be something going on.
Yeah.
Philly's just not a destination
No.
place.
Huh.
So I can see the sales of this thing not going accordingly, because unless you have something big to go for, why do people go to Philly? Why? To run the stairs? No.
Nope. Nope. You only go if you're nearby. But
Correct.
like,
Or if you have a really bad craving for a good cheesesteak.
yeah. Comerica Park is where they have basically the little section of downtown Detroit where they have the stadiums, and the Tigers park it's like you said, literally next door, like side, like there's the sidewalk in the middle is for both places. So like
Yep.
here, and right across the street there was two concert venues, theaters with two concerts going on at the same time. So there were 4 events essentially at the same time. One being SummerSlam with 60,000 people plus. I mean, so the Uber situation after and before was
The Uber situation was bad to begin with, because it doesn't seem like it's a very busy Uber city. Like, I'm used to
no.
New York, where you get
We
an
were
Uber in a
waiting.
minute. Like, and in New York, you have to run out because your Uber is already
Yep.
downstairs when you request it. Here, you had to wait. Like, you had to time it out like 20 minutes, because you didn't know how long it was going to take for the
And
Ubers.
some canceled.
I will say one thing though. None of the restaurants had a long wait. Everywhere we were able to sit down and
Yep.
eat. For having that many people in town, I give that respect, because we went to places that I feel like are on demand. The pizza place we ended up at, I didn't even know it was like a popular one until
Yeah.
we sat down and I started looking it up. But
Yeah.
there was like no line. There was no line at Mon Spaghetti. There was no line at the nasty hot dog place, which I hated that hot dog so
So bad. We both looked at each other like,
why did we come here?
and we should have known because the service was so bad. We should have
Yeah.
known. We should have got up and left.
But yeah, I will give him credit for doing that, because I felt like nowhere that we went, we were able to grab a drink, we were able to grab a coffee, whatever we were grabbing in between activities. There was not a long wait at the restaurants, or maybe there's just because there's a great variety. But I really enjoyed the fact that we didn't have to like wait forever for a table anywhere. You know what was really empty? Applebee's.
Let me tell you, the drink that I had at Applebee's,
Oh, that was the best one.
the Dwayne the Rock Johnson margarita or whatever I had
Yeah.
with the Terramana. Oh my god, it was good.
Yeah, that was good. I actually like mine as well. Mine was the Blue Long Island iced tea. That was really good.
But no, I don't want to say take me back to Detroit,
It's not that deep.
but I would love to do another trip like that with you. That was fun.
We're gonna. I think the next time we just need to find like a 2-bedroom Airbnb. I think that will be the only part that will make our trip easier, is that we were staying such like opposite sides.
Yeah.
So like, and it will save us on the Ubers.
Yeah, I don't even know where you were staying.
I was staying in what is considered the Midtown area of Detroit.
I don't even think I went over there. Like I didn't pass.
No, nobody went to that area. But it's a lot quieter. Like it was like 7 minutes. You know how fast it would take me when I would tell you I'm on my way. But it was like the Midtown. It was like the more historic. Like you were in the more modern. I was in the more historic side. It was quiet. It was nice. But I got it. Priceline sold it to me as downtown, but it was like probably on the border where it shouldn't count as downtown. You know how they have a handful that you're like, I don't really think this is downtown, but it was. The girl was like, this is the historic downtown, where down there is like the more progressive and this and that. I liked it because there was no dealing with, there wasn't a lot of fans, there wasn't a lot of anything. So at the end of the day, I still had the quiet, nobody knows where I'm staying. And it's great kind of moment, so that I like. But I bought it in a package deal, and it was just like I just put downtown, and it just showed up, picked it. It was like it was within budget, and then I was like, "Is this really downtown?" But it was. Everybody was telling me it was. It's just like the historic side as opposed to where all the things are at. But it was still 8 minutes, so it's not terrible. But I wouldn't consider that If I go back, I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna get smarter than that. That is not downtown to me.
Well, I was talking to people who were like 30 minutes out, and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, some people stay by the airport, and the airport in Detroit is nowhere near the actual city.
No. And with the Uber situation, I mean, like, I saw some people waiting for like almost 2 hours. Crazy. Crazy. But we have some topics here for TLR. I keep forgetting that we're doing the show. We're just
It's okay. We'll just tell Jimmy we're just excited to talk about our experience. So it's like a half show. TLR takes Detroit / a couple of news from this week.
I said something on the trip, and I don't know what it was, but I made an acronym for something. I was like TLR, and it was for something that we were doing. I don't know.
I can't remember. We said so much. You found everything I said funny. You think I'm the funniest person on earth, apparently.
Let me tell you, Issa she's a comedian. Like, I would say something in all seriousness, and she would just like be like, "Who? What? No? What you talking about? You don't know."
I speak with no filter, my friend. I think you liked it.
It's so refreshing that it's funny. I love it.
I have no reason to have a filter around anyone.
I
always tell people that I'm like, if I don't like you, you'll know it, because I cannot hide my emotions. I cannot hide my feelings. I am not one to fake it. If I don't like someone, you're gonna know it immediately because it's all here. I cannot hide it.
Yeah, we left Applebee's and you're like, I'm going to sleep. I'm just going home. I'm out. Like, peace.
Leave me alone. Don't talk to me tonight. I'll text you in the morning.
Oh man, no, it was a great experience.
I think that day when I went to bed after Applebee's, I feel like my socializing meter ran out because I'm actually very introverted, and I'm not used to being around a lot of people. And I was like, this is 2 days of nonstop socializing. My socializer meter was like, you need time alone, girl. Like, this is enough.
What did I say to you? There was one point that you and I were sitting down across from each other at a restaurant. And then like an hour goes by and we're both on our phones, just not even paying attention. And you're like, remember what you said? You're like, people must think we're on like the worst date.
The worst date ever. And they were like, they hate each other.
Yeah.
I think we were both on our phones until like I looked up and saw the SmackDown has started. I'm like, oh look, we can watch SmackDown.
And then we both put our phones down. We like turned around.
Yeah, and started watching SmackDown. But yeah, I was like, people don't know, what we're doing or why we're here because we're dressed up.
Yeah,
we're sitting there. So I'm like, if I'm like an outsider looking at our table, I would think that we're a date, and we're not even looking at each other. We're both on our phones. Like we're probably on somebody's TikTok, like zooming from far away, like the worst date I ever seen.
Like the old lady sitting at Nick Gage's table. Like that's us.
That was the best thing ever.
Yeah, but like I told you, like it's so cool to have that. Like we can be on the phone for an hour in front of each other because like.
I'm there for working for content, so
yeah, we know what's going on. We know the name of the game, and we're having fun outside of that. It was great.
Hell yeah!
But let's talk about our friend Kim K in the news again. What's going on here?
Kardashian corner time.
Yeah, Kardashian corner. We're gonna need.
We need an intro.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not what I just did ever again. But,
No, please.
I'm just looking now that Joseph said it's okay. I'm sure Jimmy will understand if you guys wrap up Detroit this week. LOL, you have to do a future pod wrapping up Detroit as a whole.
We'll do it on one of our channels.
We got it. I think that we're gonna be able to do it on both of ours because there's just so much to talk about.
Right.
So much.
What did Kim Kardashian do now?
I don't think that she really did anything. It says that she's slammed by C murder victim's family. He shouldn't be released. That's the
so there's like this whole thing with obviously like Kim Kardashian becoming a lawyer, and she's been trying to help get some people out of like prison. Yeah. And I guess this time I don't know if she's like getting behind someone. I couldn't read the whole article.
Masterpiece, incarcerated brother, C murder.
Right, and the families of the victim are saying that this person should not be like advocated for to get out.
Yeah.
Basically.
So if there is some sort of bias, which I would assume maybe there is, she shouldn't be involved.
Right.
Think about it. Like if you were in the victim's position and like a friend of the person that's a friend of the suspect is trying to help them out, like you'd be like, what is going on? Like she's using her influence, kind of taking advantage of using her influence. If that's
And
the
she
case.
has a lot of influence, and especially with the whole legal stuff that she's been doing. She's had some pull and she's had some success. And this is somebody that was proven guilty for horrible crimes. It's like, no, just don't, like
Yeah.
you said, don't get involved. Because at first, I know that she got involved in a case of somebody that was actually innocent.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem to be the case on this one. So I don't know what's going on. I'm not too familiar. I like to bring it up because a lot of times when something starts, we'll talk about it quickly,
Yeah.
but then it becomes a bigger deal. And it's fun to say, hey, we kind of started talking about this a couple of weeks ago. I
Yeah.
feel like this is going to go somewhere, either her backing away from this case of
Yeah.
it becoming a bigger deal, because I had to look for like Kardashian news this week to find this one. It wasn't one that popped up like all over my feed, like how the typical Kardashians news pop up. Like the
Yeah.
only Kardashian news that I could find that was popping up everywhere was that Khloe was with Tristan again. There's a picture of them with
Who
Karni and her
cares at this
big
point?
bump. But
Yeah.
that's exactly how I felt. I'm like, I don't want to bring that up onto the show, because it's like, I said this before on this show, Chloe is a grown woman. And it's like when you tell somebody, I'll give you an example, a cigarette smoker. I feel like everybody that smokes cigarettes or vapes, whatever, are aware of the damages. Like that is written everywhere. It's even written in the packages. So it's
Yeah.
like telling somebody after a certain amount of times, you're just wasting your time, because people know that what they're doing is not good for them, and they choose to continue to do it. Then let them. They're adults. I feel that way about the whole thing with Chloe and Tristan.
Yeah, just let it be. And if she's gonna be with them, she's gonna be with them. Nothing anybody says is gonna change the fact that that's still the father of her
And
children.
and you just said it. Even if she's not with him, he is gonna be in family gatherings. He is gonna be he is the father of the babies, and there's gonna be pictures of them in the future together. I mean, we have seen Kanye and Kim at games after post divorce and everything. They go to soccer games, they go to basketball games together, because it's called co-parenting. You can't take that away from them. So we will see pictures of them, whether they're together or not. He's always gonna be a part of her life.
I respect the fact that Kim, in her position, did the law school thing and got her degree and did whatever she had to do. I just don't understand how she picks the cases that she goes after. Like,
I would love that. I would love for it to be like shown in the show or something, because I never, like, she always ends up being involved in super random things that
Yeah.
I wonder the same thing you said, like, how did you even find this case? You know,
Yeah.
like the first one where she held that girl, like that was
Yeah.
interesting because I never even heard of it. And she
Yeah.
brought so much attention to it. But now it seems like she's getting involved on some random things.
Like, oh, let me help some friends out. Like it's like cherry picking the
Yeah.
type of cases she does. And if that's how it's going to be, I don't think it's going to work I don't think it's going to work out for her.
Agreed.
Because like the whole point of being a lawyer is to bring justice.
Is she a lawyer?
I-
I'm sorry. I'm only bringing that
think
up because
she's got just a lawyer.
I don't know if you ever saw when Tyra Banks did that whole thing where she graduated from Harvard and this and that, and it was like a business program, which is really funny because I took a 1-year business program from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't tell people I graduate from Notre Dame, nor did I freaking post an Instagram with a freaking cap. And it was like funny. It's like one of those programs that you can just take even online, but because it's issued by somebody at this university, you had the right of saying you went there, right? But I'll never forget when Tyra Banks did this whole thing, like, and then she started calling herself a Harvard graduate, and she would talk to like the America's Next Top Models about going to Harvard and what it meant to her. And it was like when I started, I think when somebody did a video exposing her MLM, like she did one of those scams. And when they exposed her for that, they said, and by the way, her Harvard degree is just like a 6-month certificate on business management. And I'm like, so it makes you wonder. I'm like, is Kim really a lawyer? Or did she just take like a quick law for 5 months kind of program?
I could see her like doing the next Dolce and Gabbana like fashion runway show, setting it up as a graduation, and she has a whole cap and gown, and she like does the thing by herself.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say she was gonna set it up as a courtroom.
Yeah, that's it.
The judge takes off the robe and he has like a super stylish Dolce & Gabbana outfit, and then all of the jury gets up, takes off their clothes.
Gavel.
Yeah. Her
Dolce
& Gabbana collection was on point. So the last one that she collaborated with, beautiful pieces.
Yeah, so like I don't know. There's some things that come out about Kim, and I'm like, yeah, I'm Team Kim, and then something like this, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like,
right. But this one, it doesn't seem to have a lot of track yet, so we'll see where it goes.
So one topic I think that was, I don't think we have to spend a lot of time on it because it's not really one of those topics. But Cardi B, uh, Cardi B, she's back in the media. She was, what was it, last week or the week before that?
The microphone in Vegas last
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Did you fall down that rabbit hole?
No.
Because obviously, did you see the clip of her? Like they threw water at her and she threw the
Yeah.
microphone. Have you seen the clip of what happened literally 2 minutes before that?
No.
She was asking people to splash her, but she got pissed off because this one splashed her in the face. She was asking people to splash her, and I don't know if this person had bad aim. I don't know how it went, but like when I first saw the news, I'm like, well, that person was wrong for like just randomly. But if you fall down the rabbit hole, there is a video out there that went viral too that shows that literally a minute before she was telling everybody, "Oh, splash me in my private parts, whatever." She was bending over so people would throw water at her. So now I was like, I didn't even know whose side to take when I first saw it because I'm like, I'm tired of these people throwing random things at performers on stage. It's dangerous. But now that I saw the whole story, I'm like, I mean, that person must have felt super like, what just happened? When you were literally asking people to splash you just minutes before.
It's like taking a selfie at a Miranda Lambert concert. And she's like, don't take selfies at my concert.
I don't even want to talk about it. That was so stupid. But the picture was great, by the way. I saw the girls posted the picture they were taking. It was like, I would take it too. I don't care about her.
You know, Cardi B.
Who the hell goes to a Miranda Lambert concert anyway? She's lucky that we're even there. Come on.
You know, she's so horrible that Blake Shelton just was like, I'm out. He wrote a song like,
I won't leave anybody for Gwen Stefani too, though. Come on.
Yeah. Like, poor Blake Shelton was like, someone help.
He probably couldn't take any pictures.
She's just like horrible. Like, she's just like, who tells people you can't take selfies at a concert?
The people that are paying.
Listen to my music instead. Like, get out of here. What
Sorry, bro. I didn't realize I needed my. Like, you can hear the music while you're taking a picture.
Yeah, you know who can say something like that? Like Celine Dion can say something like that. Like somebody of that.
She wouldn't.
She wouldn't. But like Miranda Lambert, like.
I was just shocked that people were there. So I was like, wow, people were there. And the fact that they even wanted to like take a picture. Like if I was at a Miranda Lambert, I wouldn't want a picture. I want nobody to know that I was at this thing. So she should have been happy that people wanted to take a picture and let their friends know they were there.
I wouldn't even go if the tickets were free.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I will have to lose a really bad bet, and there is no way I'm taking a picture, checking in, nothing. Like I'll put like that's when you take. This is like, listen, people. This is one-on-one. If you want to be somewhere where you don't want to be, take a picture on your phone, your camera roll from somewhere else, and post that on your story. That way people think you're somewhere actually cool and not at a Miranda Lambert concert. But anyways, back to Cardi B. The whole point to this is that I didn't know whose side I was taking, and then I saw the full story, and I was like, okay, if you're asking people to splash, you open the gates for this to happen.
Yeah. This is all on Cardi B. If that is the case, which I believe you, she's in the wrong because a lot of things have been happening at concerts lately that people are throwing things on stage, and this moron comes out and says, throw something at me. Like, she's asking for it. She's promoting what they're trying to avoid. She should be in trouble for that, to be honest with you.
I mean, I heard they filed a lawsuit because not only did she hit the person that splashed her, but she hit somebody else with the microphone.
Yeah, if you watch the clip, you hear it like go boom, boom, like it bounces off two people.
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know who picked it up, but apparently, based on this article that you found, somebody's about to make a lot of money on this microphone.
Yeah, the microphone closed on eBay. I don't know how that was able to even get put to eBay. I'm sure you would think
put anything on eBay.
But I would think that like they would try to get the microphone back because that's her equipment. Like, I mean, I'm sure they have more, but like if she throws it.
If I'm there and I grab that mic, I'm running out right then and there. I know what I got. I got at least I don't have to work for the next few months if I pick up that microphone.
Well, this microphone could help someone buy a house apparently because it closed on eBay at $100,000.
Amazing. How do you know it's even that microphone?
There's a clip, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to wait for some controversy to happen, and then I'm going to find something similar and put it on eBay and be like, by the way, this is... You know, these are Brock Lesnar's ripped pants from summer, so I'm gonna buy a pair of pants and rip them
Yep.
and put them on eBay and see how much they go for.
The beast was out on Saturday.
I'm just saying, like, people, it's amazing what the internet has done to certain moments, you know, because like we
Yeah.
all think like, oh my god, Cardi B is gonna get sued. Is this fan okay? And then there's that one person that's saying, I'm gonna sell this microphone.
I want to know who's buying that. But
Somebody that has entirely way too much money.
she
Or
probably
maybe
bought it back.
I was just gonna say it was Cardi B herself. Oh my god.
Let me ask you a serious
100,000
question.
bucks. Yeah.
Are you like a fan of Cardi B? Like, do you care for her?
No, I mean she has a couple. I know that we go back and forth in the like people. We talked about so many people that I don't. I do have a few songs of hers.
Yeah.
Both at Yellow as somebody that's like walking around in red bottoms almost every day. Of course, I
Yeah.
love that song. But
Yeah.
there's a couple of things she did that collab. With Bad Bunny that I love, but I don't have a lot of her stuff on
No.
my playlist. But there is a few. I'd be lying to you if I told you I have no Cardi B. Come on. You know, there's that's an iconic song that she came out with last year. That's a women's anthem, very inappropriate women's anthem, but we all have it on our playlist, whether people want to admit it or not.
I'm not necessarily a fan of her. Like, I don't listen to her music. I don't think I've ever was a fan of her music, but she does have a sense of like charisma to her and humor.
Mhm.
Where like when she would do interviews, like with Jimmy Fallon or other late night shows, she was just funny. So I
Yeah.
found out to be like comical. Where like I'm like, oh, she's hysterical, but like
Mhm.
that's it dies.
That's
out
about it.
there. Yeah, it is-
Yeah. I like that part of her. I like that she's very like for real, but like I like that one song that I told you about, that Bodak Yellow. I like it, but
yeah.
I like when I started finding hip hop, which I share with you, like Eminem is the one that like opened that door for me. Like I started listening to people like Lil Kim, and I still feel like there's some good female rappers out there today, but nobody holds a candle to her back in her peak. And when you listen to like how the wordplay that she would do and this and that, I don't know that today's rappers are living up to that standard. So
Not at all.
I need to stop. I'm getting old. And nostalgia is a thing now, and I compare what we have today to what we had back in the day,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't seem to like be at the same level. Because Lil Kim, man, she's so good.
Lil Kim. I think for me the closest is like maybe Nicki Minaj.
Oh, Nicki Minaj is good.
But
Like when Nicki Minaj
she doesn't
did,
get the credit she deserves.
what was it? Monster with
Oh, yeah.
Kanye and Jay-Z, like, and she
Kanye?
freaking her verse like killed She rapped a better verse than Jay-Z and Kanye. And Kanye tells you the story that they kind of walked in without like nothing written. It was all like freestyle. And the fact that this girl walked in there and freestyle a better verse than Kanye and Jay-Z, you gotta give her props. But a lot of times I do feel like she goes for more mainstream appeal and you don't hear her. Like I remember she did, I think it was a Jimmy Fallon interview where he just started giving her very random topics to say she could freestyle, and she did it. And I was like, you got it like that? Where is that in some of your songs? Because I do feel she's a little like mainstream, but I was very happy when Nicki Minaj came out because she was changing the game. We hadn't seen like successful female rappers in so long. But yeah, I think Nicki Minaj has it, but the songs of hers that have become popular don't showcase her skills. Where I feel like sometimes when she's a feature, you really hear her go off on how she raps. I think she's very good. I think she's a very good rapper. I think she's a better rapper than Cardi B.
Yeah. When she came out with that song Super Bass, she wasn't like a rapper then. She was like a pop star. Like,
right, correct.
And then she quickly got under the wing of Lil Wayne and Drake, and they created Young Money, and
she's good. I like her more than Cardi B.
People don't realize that she learned from Drake and Lil Wayne. Like she was like with them.
Yeah, but find that documentary when Kanye talks about how impressed he was when she just walked in
I would
there.
watch
Like
that.
he said that, I think, was it him? I don't know if it was him or Jay-Z. One of them redid their verse because they were so ashamed of how she killed them in one take. Like it's just hilarious to hear that. And I love that song. Monster is such a good song.
I love that whole album, My Dark Twisted.
That whole album, I think that's the one that he's filming like Hawaii. He got a studio in Hawaii. He was flying everybody to Hawaii to like record their parts. Yeah. Good stuff. Speaking of Kanye, what a transition. I think we have some Kanye news.
We do got some Kanye news. That was pretty sweet. I love how we were just doing that. But Kanye West in the news again.
For a good reason. Nothing controversial.
He joined Travis Scott at a Utopia show in Rome.
Yep.
Utopia is the name of Travis Scott's new album. I almost said Travis Barker.
I'm
Travis
not a big
Scott.
fan of it. I like the song that he did with. I actually just like Bad Bunny's verse. Honestly, I haven't really liked this, but yeah, he was doing a show.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Travis Scott for a long time, like from his like mixtape days and all his
Right.
albums. Uh, this new album is just too like futuristic, I think, for me, where I feel like the only way you can enjoy this album is if you're like tripping on like acid. Like it's like
I feel
way
like
too
when
much.
I first listened to it, I feel like it's gonna be one of those that, like, a couple of years from now, people might be like, "Man, we slept on this album," but like right now,
Yeah.
there's just something about it that I don't like. But the whole point is he's out there promoting it. I think he's done an excellent job marketing. I remember they were doing the briefcase thing where like
Yeah.
I always like Bad Bunny things, so they would show up on my feed, and Bad Bunny was carrying the Utopia briefcase. He was giving it to very big names, very specific names that he
Yeah.
would know would go viral. Like, why are you carrying this briefcase? So he's done a great job promoting it, and now he's in Rome performing. And who did he had on stage? None other than Kanye West, who has not performed live for as long as I can. Like, it's been a long time since we've seen him perform live.
Yeah.
He's gone very quiet after all the drama and controversy we talked about. To me,
Yep.
it seems like he's rebuilding a little bit. He kind of rebuilt that relationship with Adidas. Like, he's trying to do certain things, and Kanye performed. And I saw the clip. He looked great. He sounded great. Like, I hope that he's just maybe getting the help that he needed, because for a period of time he just seemed very unhinged, and I was just worried. I was like, this guy needs help. Like, it was so clear.
Yeah.
Right now he just seems quiet. He seems to be doing good, and this performance was great. If you guys go to TMC, you can see a small snippet of it, and he sounded good.
Yeah, before Travis Scott brought him out, he said, "There's only one human being on this MF planet that has ever walked out or walked side by side with me through everything and everything."
Because they both have gone through controversies, people turning on them. I mean, we weren't doing the show obviously back when everything happened, but that Astro World controversy, I don't know that that's anything that Travis Scott is ever going to be able to recover from fully.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think since then he kind of just got really, really tarnished. Really tarnished.
And I feel like I like to look at everything from like different perspectives, right? And I
Yeah.
understand that you're the performer, you're gonna come out there, but it's your festival, right? I'm not gonna take any blame from him, but I do feel like a lot of times people don't realize that these people are just hiding. They come out, they perform, and they leave, and it's like the Live Nation's responsibility to handle crowd control and everything.
Yep.
However, the way that he went about it afterwards, it was just handled so poorly. The video that
Yeah.
he put out, everything was just done so poorly that I'm just like, yeah, that's not it. But I never have really heard. I wonder how much money was spent, like outside, like settling things outside of
Yeah.
court, because I don't remember hearing any of this, like going to like a big case. So I'm assuming they paid a lot of people a lot of money.
Yeah, and I think that a big thing that we're skipping over here is that Travis Scott is the father of Kylie Jenner's child, and Kanye is obviously the father of Kim Kardashian's children. So
Yeah,
like,
they're the exes. They're the victims. The victims.
yeah, they're the exes here, but like there's blood involved there, and that's pretty cool that they can have that kind of like a business relationship outside of that. Neither one of them are with a Kardashian or Jenner right now, so
Right, which I thought was funny when Bad Bunny did the collab, because I was recently, and Bad Bunny is still with Kendall. So it's like it's
yeah.
really weird how all of these guys are connected.
By the way,
It's
do
like
you
a
know
cult.
do you know who Kylie Jenner is dating?
I heard.
Timothy
Refresh my-
Chalamet.
Oh yeah.
Imagine the dinner date between Kylie, Timothy, Bad Bunny, Kendall.
I have been a really big fan of what Bad Bunny and Kendall have been doing. They've been in Puerto Rico a bunch. They've been spotting everywhere.
them.
Here you spot them everywhere. They don't really bother them a lot, but I seen
Yeah.
a lot of pictures of them be spotted at different restaurants here. Like, he's bringing her here all the time. I seen them in LA just having their dinners. They seem very unbothered.
Yeah.
Which I thought is funny, because from what I heard, it has started at just hanging out, we're just friends, but it seems to be getting serious. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they bring the best out of each other, and I don't know that we'll ever see that dinner date, because I feel like Bad Bunny's just so laid back that I don't know that he will agree to that. He'll be like, "Why
Yeah.
don't we just skip that and go do something else?" And
Yeah.
she seems to be the kind that would do that, because she's always wanted to like break the mold of, like, she's the one that's always been like, "I'm not a Kardashian, I'm a Jenner."
Well, didn't they do that with like Justin Bieber and Haley? They did like a dinner date, but it was more friend though, right? Like,
Yeah, that's on the beginning, like back on
yeah,
the beginning when I felt like he was getting to know her, so he probably agreed to everything she wanted to do. And now he's
yeah,
like, okay, come join my world because I don't know. But Bunny was so public there that whole year that he was touring that now he just feels like he's just enjoying his time off. He said he was gonna take some time off and he deserves it. I mean, I could use
yeah.
an album desperately. But the fact that his last album is still in the top Spotify, he's still getting 80 freaking billion
Crazy.
listens like a month when he hasn't released anything new like album wise for over a year. It's
Yeah,
crazy good for him, but yeah, I like that Bad Bunny. It's like kind of bringing a different side of Kendall.
yeah. I love seeing all the different like worlds collide here. Like it's so cool to see that. And we're not. I don't think we ever really saw that before.
I don't even know how this happened. I don't even know how they communicate still, honestly.
Well, you know what it is? It's because today there's so many things connecting us, like through like social media and the internet, where like we have the Met Gala, which is like people from different places. You know, the VMA, all these award shows, they include outside. They're not even for what
Correct.
they are meant to be for. Like,
Well,
like
and nowadays with the whole like influencer
yeah,
society where you have like yeah it could be like a Grammys where he's a musician but they're gonna bring the people that are gonna put eyes on the product, so they're gonna bring the influencers. That's how
and the movie
they
star, and the
met.
news
Like
people.
I know it doesn't even compare to the scale, but look at the people that were in that room with us Saturday night and you just look around and you're seeing like pretty much 50% of wrestling YouTube was in the same room together at the same time and you're like, oh crap, it was like a multiverse of wrestling. I feel
Yeah,
like that happens in all kinds of words like music, TVs, like it doesn't matter sports,
yeah,
like as long as people are in a similar group, you're
yeah.
gonna end up running into everybody that you know is part of that group. It's like I know
I
it's
think it's
funny to
cool.
say it, but it really did feel like a multiverse of freaking wrestling on SummerSlam weekend.
Seriously, like I was seeing people, I was like, wait, that I want,
Yeah,
wait, oh my, what's happening?
yeah, and I guarantee you it's like that in any industry. I just
Yeah,
think we do it at a smaller scale. It's not necessarily starting to feel like a smaller scale because look who we had open the show. It was Logan Paul, and if Logan Paul ever decides to bring his group into it, like you have people sitting front row that are part of Logan Paul's big group, and Logan Paul had nothing to do with wrestling a year ago, and now he's part of this, and we're covering it, and we're hearing about it everywhere all over YouTube. People were talking about how Logan Paul showed up in his freaking, which we didn't even cover that. He made it to. We talked about it last week. He made it in his with his black eye, still in wrestling gear. He made it to walk his brother to the ring, which is absolutely insanity. But that's what I mean. That's how these things happen. These multiverses are currently happening right now, and it's insane. The Paul brothers started on Vine, and now this weekend they were part of the biggest wrestling pay-per-view and the biggest boxing pay-per-view that happened. Like, it's insane how worlds are all combining in a weird way. Look at Bad Bunny wrestling a Backlash. Like, you had all these people that haven't watched wrestling ever in their life trying to get a ticket or tuning in because they want to see Bad Bunny. Like, it's insane how involving people from different places is like introducing new people to new worlds.
major shout out to Logan Paul because he appeared on.
Whatever, you were like 2 feet from him, you didn't even touch him.
That's true. In my mind, I'm like content. I didn't think about like, yeah, it was just it happened so fast. But he was at multiple Raws leading up to SummerSlam. He had one of the best builds for a match, I think, at SummerSlam. One
One
of
of the
the
best
best
matches.
matches of
I
the
didn't like
night.
the finish. I didn't think
No,
that needed, but it protects Ricochet.
yeah,
But my God, I retweeted it yesterday. Somebody put together like a highlight because I haven't been able to go
yeah.
back and watch any of SummerSlam. And he freaking killed it. And I couldn't help but to think, when did he practice all of this? I know he's good, but they
I
were
know
doing
that they
some
met. They met
coordinated
at the.
things.
They met at the PC a few times to practice some stuff.
Yeah, I know he has like WWE sent him a whole ass ring that he
Yeah,
has on his backyard here in Puerto Rico too. Like at one point he flew Drew Gulak here. He flew a lot of really good wrestlers to Puerto Rico to teach him. It's Logan
yeah,
Paul. Who's gonna say no to that
yeah.
opportunity, right? But yeah, why don't you tell the people? This is a pop culture. Why don't you tell the people how close you were to Logan Paul? That has something to do with this podcast.
So actually, it involves you too, Issa.
Yeah,
Because
because I did. That's the one time all weekend that I wasn't with you, and that's when you freaking see Logan Paul.
yeah, so we for those who are listening and watching that were familiar with what was going on in Detroit, if you were there, we were right by the Superstore, downtown Detroit, the SummerSlam Superstore, and then we found this little hot dog place that was horrible. We went and ate, and right after that, it was like in the afternoon.
SummerSlam day.
Yeah, this was like at like 1 o'clock on
Yep.
Saturday, and
Because
Issa
that's
and I,
when I left you, because I was like, I
yeah,
gotta get ready for summertime. And the one thing that I own up to is I take forever getting ready. So I was like, I gotta go. It's gonna take like 2 hours to get ready.
Issa, perfection takes time.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, so it's fine. So we walked out of that restaurant like 1 o'clock, and you said you're going back to your hotel. You called your Uber, you got in, and then I started walking back, which was literally like a 3-4 minute
Yeah.
walk from my hotel. I was staying right where that big poster, the SummerSlam poster, was on the wall outside in Detroit.
Right.
I was right over there. So I'm walking towards that way, and I see like crowds of people, and I see people running. Now in my mind, I'm like, oh, something's happening. Something bad is happening.
Somebody's getting arrested because that's
Yeah.
what we saw all week.
So then I start getting closer, and then I see cops like blocked off like the street, and I'm like, what's happening? Like I have to go through this to get to my hotel. And then I see a Power Ranger in yellow clothing standing there, and I'm like, wow, that's Logan Paul. They were filming, I guess, content for him, but for also WWE doing a photo shoot, and you can actually see the clips. They're on WWE's
And on
Instagram
his,
page.
didn't he post a picture holding the Prime with the sign on the
He
background or
did.
something? Yeah.
On both of those platforms, on Instagram, you can see on their pages
Yeah.
all the stuff they were doing there. But it was really funny. I have some the backstage tea if you want me to give you that. But yeah, the backstage tea. Logan Paul clearly doesn't know how to drive a stick shift or manual car. So in the video clip that you'll see on social media, I even posted I made a TikTok about it too. He didn't know how to drive the stick shift, the blue lowrider that they had there.
Oh my god, that's
So,
hilarious.
He got out of the car, he walked back a few feet, someone got in the car, backed it up, got it all set for him to do, and all he had to do was just press the gas and pull up and do his little scream in front of the poster. He kept messing it up. At one point, he was holding the bottle of Prime, and like the logo was turned around, and like they had to do it like 3 or 4 times.
He had to be nervous. He put on a great match, but he had to be nervous. This was right before SummerSlam, and he's probably getting in the song. And some people, I don't know what his routine is, but a lot of people like have to get in the song. And I know that what I loved out of the video that you showed me is watching him, because I probably did this to you all weekend. Shout out to Joey for taking all of my pictures and all of my videos all weekend. But it was like that immediate, let me see what it looks like on the phone. And to see a pro like Logan Paul, who looks good, and you probably assume that he looks good in every picture, still double check what they were doing and editing his own pictures. I was like, bravo. I felt good about myself, because I was like, we were doing it and we were all like, no, let's do it again. No, let's do it again. Joey is an angle master, by the way. Like, I don't want anybody else taking my pictures ever again. Like,
it's the name of my show. I told you that.
But you show me that clip of him like immediately asking the photographer, okay, let me check it out. And you see him go, I love this one. This one is not it. Let's do this again. Yeah. Like, it's really freaking cool. And a little extra behind the scenes, but I know somebody in the chat said, yeah, I left SummerSlam at 2 a.m. because the press conference didn't start until around 12:30. It ended at around 1:30. We still had to get out of where the press conference room is typically backstage, so we have to be walked out, because you see talent, they want to make sure nobody's bothering anybody. Right. So we had to like the walk, and then you had to get everybody together to do the walk, to get in the elevator. Some people leave things in the press box. They had to go back before they finally walk us out. So no, I did not leave Ford Field until around 2 a.m. because listen, I'm very lucky that I got picked for the press conference, but that involves staying there for an extra period of time, and you have to wait until you're walked out and all of that. Like, there's a whole process to what you see after the show.
It does work out staying for that, because you don't have to you wait.
Oh, everything is like there was nobody there anymore.
Exactly.
Traffic, everybody was gone. It was nice. I still had to walk. I walked all the way to, because they still have some of the streets blocked. So I walked all the way to Mom's Spaghetti, to the theater right next to it. Yeah. And that's where I requested my Uber. I could have just walked to you and requested it from your freaking hotel, because it would have been the same walking distance. But the theater was like a straight shot for the door that we ended up like getting out of. But I think there's a lot of like behind the scenes things that people don't know about. That's one of them. If you go to the press conference, you're staying a lot longer, which again, I prefer it, because if you leave when everybody else is leaving, it's a pain to leave this arena. So we get very lucky.
I saw people's Ubers getting canceled 3-4 times, over $100 Ubers. They just, it was a disaster.
Even at 2 something a.m., my Uber still was $40, and I'm talking a 7-minute ride. Like, the prices were still crazy. But I told you, there was a lot going on in downtown Detroit that weekend. Like even that Team Roof spot was like crazy packed still at that time. So I'm assuming that's where everybody went for the after party.
I don't know. It was outside of that stuff, it was one of the best experiences I think I ever had. Like, I was telling my dad, I was like, granted, I am like wrestled out at the moment. I'm just like, I don't want to see nothing wrestling. I'm just like, I need like a
I
day
actually
off.
thought Monday Night Raw was very good.
Oh, it was. I didn't even plan, and I tweeted this. I didn't plan to watch it. I planned just to see the beginning, and I couldn't turn it off.
I said, so hear me out. I
Turn
said
it
the
off.
same thing because I landed and I still have to drive to my mom's who lives nowhere near the Puerto Rico airport, you know. And at that point, I'm like, I'm already here. I'm tired. My mom watched Roman for 4 days. I might as well hang out here for like give her some of my time,
Yeah.
right? And she, you know, my mom's a big wrestling fan, so she always want to know how did it go, how was this person, how was this person. So I ended up getting home to my apartment at like 10 p.m. Sunday because I wanted to
Really?
spend some time with my mom. Yeah. And then I'm like, I'm wrestled out. I'm gonna cancel my stream tomorrow. You know what I ended up doing? I not only did I stream, I agreed to also like fill in on Wrestling Inc. So I'm like, as tired as I am, I did my stream and I did a post show podcast, which I gotta do again today and
Yeah.
tomorrow. My first day off will be on Thursday, which I plan on sleeping until minimum 12 p.m.
You want to hear where I'm at right now?
Yeah.
So in the last month, I have been home
Oh, I know.
a whopping 5 days.
I know.
Like home, 5 days. I was in the Hamptons in July. I came back for 2 days. I flew out to South Florida for a week. Went home for 3
But
days.
you're living the life. I'm out here working like a slave, okay? I had somebody like give me a shout out on my Facebook page because they were like, "How were you last Saturday covering like an event here? One of my interviews was featured on TV, and then this Saturday I'm at SummerSlam." And that's when I realized I'm like, I don't think I've taken a day off in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So
at least I live in paradise. So you know what? If I want to take a day off and have a nice resort, all I had to do is drive
what
a
it
couple
is.
of minutes. So
you got paradise, refreshing you, giving you that rejuvenation.
I'm considering making either Thursday or Thursday will be a lot cheaper if I want to like actually book a hotel and go with Roman.
Yeah.
But I'm considering either making Thursday or Saturday, like book a hotel and go chill by a beach all day and like don't talk to me.
I might have to meet you there.
Hey, listen, if you don't want to spend any time at home, come on over.
So listen to this. So, I left Ford Field almost 1:30, I would say.
Right.
Walked back, and it was like The Walking Dead outside. Like everybody was just like walking slowly, just like it took me like a half an hour to get back to my hotel, where it was a 6-minute walk before. So, and I walked with a group of media that was looking for Uber. So we figured we'd walk out further so there was more opportunity for Ubers. I ended up waiting outside with Muscleman Malcolm. By the way, one of my favorite people of the whole weekend. Kudos to that guy. Just doing such great work. But I waited with him for a little while. And then by the time I got up to my hotel and packed my stuff, it was almost 3:00. I had to leave to the airport at 5. So I just like put on Spy Kids because that was what was on TV.
Wow.
And I sat like with my bag on my shoulder. I was leaned on my bag and I just like dozed off for like 30 minutes. Woke up, went to the airport at 5 a.m. My flight was at 7. I got home at 9 a.m.
To a cookout, right?
On the ride home, because my dad picked me up from Newark, from the airport. On my ride home, he's like, "Oh, by the way, we're having a family barbecue at 12 o'clock. Yeah. Everyone's coming over."
And then you went to a Metallica concert.
I went. I got home and like my mom's in a dress and like my sister and her boyfriend are like dressed up, and I was like, "This is what you're getting. This is it.
As good as it gets."
I was in like Nike sweatpants, a hoodie. I was like, "This is it. Like you are not. This is it." So we had a family barbecue at 12, and then later on, my uncle gave us 2 free tickets to a Metallica concert. So me and my dad went to the Metallica concert around like 5:30. I didn't get home till almost 1 a.m.
No,
I slept in till like 8 o'clock that morning.
I'm jealous
and
of that.
I got home today, actual home, like where I live. It's 4:15 now here. I got home at
probably when you sent me the
1
link
o'clock.
to the show. Yeah, that's when you sent me the link. Yeah, and I'm like, I've been in the same situation where like yesterday I had to do like a lot of like running
No sleep.
errands. Like I had to do like groceries today. I had to go and do a couple more things. So it's like I still haven't. I told you I still haven't even taken my SD card out of my vlogging
I'm
camera
doing
and
all that
put
after
it in.
this.
I'm like the amount of content that I have to edit is
Yeah.
like ridiculous. So I'm hoping to like uh, probably tomorrow during the day like get it done so that way I can really. I don't want to deal with anything on Thursday. I am tired.
I'm
I am
tired.
tired. I'm done. I'm washed. It's over.
I was gonna use it at some point, but you beat me to it.
I'm
Like,
done. I need that's when you and now you get it. A lot of times I like tell people after I go on these trips, I'm like, I need a vacation from that. And they were like, weren't you just on vacation? There is nothing vacation about that. I'm very blessed and thankful that I get to do it. Like
I love
Samantha
this.
just said in the chat, but people just don't understand the amount of work and running around that we do and how exhausted you get back.
Yeah, it's a lot, but you know what? When you love it and you're passionate about it, like it's fulfilling, but it's so worth it. Like
Oh, 1000%. I'll
I
do
don't
it
know.
again tomorrow if somebody call me and say, "Hey, you wanna like?" As much as I tell you how tired I am, I would do it again tomorrow. Like
Yep.
even like I'm telling my Lucha Libre Online boss where I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm so exhausted." And then literally 2 sentences later into our conversation, I'm like, "Okay, what's my August schedule? Where do you need me?" He's
Yeah.
like, "What are you just saying? You need a day off, and you're already asking me where I need you at." And I'm like, no, I'm very blessed. I'm never gonna take that for granted, but
Yeah.
am I gonna tell you that I'm super freaking exhausted? 1000%.
Yeah. And I think for me, like the biggest thing too is that I was in Florida, but I wasn't there for a good reason. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I needed a win, and this was like a
Oh, you
good.
got it. You
This
got it.
was a win. This was fun. This was like that. Like oof. Like
Now, don't ask me if I watch any TV because I have not. All I
I
watched
wasn't
was
going
Monday
to.
Night Raw. There is no. We're gonna cut off the. What are we watching this week?
Yep.
Because we haven't
We're
had
not
time
doing
to
it.
watch anything.
No, we're not doing it. We're not even. It's done. It is.
It's over.
It's over.
I haven't even caught up with Big Brother, like, and you
Oh
know how much
man.
I love it, and I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna do that here in a little bit, like put it in the background,
Yeah.
just to be able to start catching up. But yeah, there's no shows this week. We'll get back to that section next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. After this, I'm getting a cup of coffee. Got to get some editing done and back to the grind. You know what I mean?
Always.
Always. Issa, always a pleasure. Now I hate this now. I don't like this. I don't like it. We
We're
had such a
gonna.
good time, like in person, and it was like the first time we ever hung out. Like we
We met in
briefly.
person before. I know some people were under the impression we hadn't. We met in person, but it was a quick hi, how are you at Full Gear. That was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a full hangout.
It was like 3 minutes. We got out during one of the matches just to say hi. We took a picture, and that was it. This was like I got there to you, and I felt like we've known each other for like ever. Like we just like
Yeah.
I don't know.
It clicked well. We clicked well. It was the best.
Yeah. And the content too. Like everything like that like us having that kind of relationship made the whole thing better. Like everything we did.
Yeah, and we got pictures. Like a lot of times I do these trips alone. And a lot of times I'm like taking the pictures for like the tripod or like their old selfies. I'm glad to have like I know we're different outlets, but it was fun to have like a little tag team partner.
Yeah.
And I had Lucha Libre Online is spoiling me now
Yeah.
because they're sending me with camera people. And shout out to Jorge because not only was he the coolest, he took some sick shots of us down by
the
ringside.
You sent me, I was like, whoa, what is this? Like,
I know. I was like, magazine. That looked like a magazine. So shout out to Lucha Libre Online for spoiling it. But now I'm screwed because I was like, who are you giving me for Survivor Series? Because I'm not doing this again, like by myself ever again after what I've experienced. But it was so funny because Nick and Sean and everybody from media were just making so much fun of me, calling me spoiled because now they sent me with cameraman, and I'm like, yeah.
We're all like putting our stuff up, and you're like, I'm here. Like,
and I'm just bossing Jorge around, like, come on, this way.
Tell me where to go.
Everybody with their tripods, and I'm like, can't relate. I have an actual cameraman. Thank you.
And he was so cool.
He is the coolest. He is the coolest.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that concludes today's show. So much, a lot of stuff going out today outside of our usual topics, giving some backstage stuff from Detroit. I'm sure we have a lot more to talk about on your channel, my channel, but
if I don't fall asleep, I will be back for NXT. So you guys can go catch me doing a live stream of NXT tonight, and then also on Wrestling Inc. Tuesdays are usually busy for me live content wise because I have this show and then I have my normal nighttime ones. But this one always throws me off because I never do like lives during the day. So it always like I'm always like, oh shit, it's Tuesday. Like I gotta rush everything that I do during the day. Like I went grocery shopping, I went to the gym, and I'm like looking at the time, like I need to be home by this time.
Yeah.
Where typically I'm used to like being out until 5 because that's when I typically get back home and kind of like get ready. But I love this show. I look forward to this every week.
And everyone watching and in the chat right now, don't forget to go to both of our channels because we both did so many interviews this weekend, but we watched each other's interviews together and they were like so different. So like both of our interviews with like Baron Corbin are different. Both of Ricochet and Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler and Finn Balor. Everybody that we interviewed, they were completely different interviews. So go check those out. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of content that we put out this weekend.
Yep.
And thank you all for being a part of the show today. Thank you for bearing with us, being all tired and everything. And we hadn't really talked since then. So we needed to get that Detroit talk out. So I'm glad we did that.
We'll figure out when we can do another one for my channel. I am not saying Thursday. I am not doing anything wrestling related on Thursday. So we'll figure it out for later.
I love this. Thank you. Thank you, Ricky. Both your channels are so good. East and Joey, people are the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love you guys. But that concludes episode 40.
40.
40. 40. Yeah, I just put 2 4s up. I don't know why.
I know.
But thank you guys for being a part of the show. And as always, don't forget to subscribe down below. Stay up to date with all the stuff on the Know Your News channel. And again, you have our information right there. Go follow us. Always great content. And we'll see you next week.